Good afternoon or good morning if you're in Arizona still. My name is Sarah Simon. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I'm excited to be with you this afternoon. It's been a crazy day already today. I'm going to switch to my comments here. A lot of you have jumped on already. I'm glad that I didn't think I'd have many people at 12:30 in the afternoon here, but Melanie and Denise and Michelle and Betty and Mary and Becky. Oh my goodness, and Lori and Shanna. Thank you all for joining me. I have two cards that I made today. I my card buffet last night went a little bit long because I had 7 ladies here at my house last night. It was kind of craziness. So it went a little bit long and I was exhausted. Hello, Sandy and Linda. I was exhausted by the time the last person left, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to come up with anything creative today. So I went to bed. I cleaned things up and got ready for the morning because I then had 3 ladies here this morning. And I went to bed and set my alarm for 5 o'clock. And I got up at 5 o'clock this morning and I designed the two cards. And I had a little 3D thank you item for all of the ladies who participated in my card buffet. And so what I did was I decided I'm going to show you how I made that as well. So it's a little uh, um, St. Patrick's Day gift, and it uses a pack of gum. And I kind of decorated it for St. Patrick's Day, but I saw it from the Paper Pixie. If any of you are familiar with Julie DiMatteo at the Paper Pixie, she does a ton of 3D things. So she had done this back in July with a different paper, and I decided I liked that and I was going to tailor it for St. Patrick's Day. So I decided as a little bonus for you today, I'll show you how I made those in case you're interested in doing some sort of a 3D item sometime. Hello, Linda. So let's see. Someday I'm going to make it to your card buffet. Oh, that would be awesome, Melanie. We have a blast. So like I said, we had 7 people here. So I have 3 bedrooms in my house. So I have my bedroom, the master bedroom, then this room, which I've turned into basically an office. I actually even took the closet out so that I could have more cabinets. And then I have my guest bedroom, which has a kitchen table in it. So that when I have classes that no longer accommodate my normal kitchen table, we go into the other room. And so I actually had 4 people at one table and 3 people at in the other room at the other table, and we were just stamping and laughing and having fun last night. So, but I'm excited to be here with you today. I do have some happy mail. I received this along with a gift from Cindy Winkleman, who's on my team. And I also worked with Cindy for many, many years. She just retired, I think, 2 years ago. And sad thing, when she retired, her husband ended up, well, he's always had different things wrong with him, but he's gotten real sick. And so she's had to be the caretaker for him in her retirement. So, anyhow, she was so sweet to run this over on Valentine's Day. And then inside, this like little thing center here popped out, and she made that into a little bookmark. This was a paper pumpkin, and it kind of matches along with our lavender stuff that we have. So that was so sweet of her. And I said, you don't have to run out here. It was like 7 o'clock at night, maybe on Valentine's Day. And I said, you don't have to run out now. And she's like, no, I'm coming from church and I'd like to run it over. And she had a blanket that has all pictures of Lila on it, and a little Valentine's display thing. So it was so sweet of her to think of me and to do that. I just so appreciated the effort with everything she's got going on in her life, and just very sweet. We also have prizes to give away for 2 weeks. So let's start with February 3rd through February 9th. I had made this card with a special fun fold. And then we also made this card that had a unique fold. And we have the matching envelopes here to go with that. So for the people who commented, so anytime you comment, whether it be here on YouTube during the live feed or if you are watching this afterwards and you make a comment in the non-live feed, um, or if you are not a subscriber to YouTube, you do not have a YouTube account, and you comment on a Facebook, I also look there. So receiving it was number 26 on my list, who happens to be Debbie Peters. So Debbie, I will get these off to you. I'll probably put them with your club cards because we've got club coming up next weekend already. Holy cow. Then for sharing. So anytime you share it, whether you email the link to somebody, you post it on your Facebook page, however you share, please put in the comments that you shared, just like Mary Linsmeyer just did and Linda Munes just did. If you could put those that in there that you shared, then I put those names into a drawing. And number 21 was Barbara Schupanis, and you are receiving a spool of this pool party ribbon, which it's kind of like a ruffled ribbon. I think they called it crinkled ribbon. I love this. So I'll be getting that off in the mail to you. And then if you place an order, so I have my host code. Let me see here. My iPad for some reason is not pulling my live up, but I can tell that I'm live because all of you are commenting, but I can't pull it up for some reason on my iPad right now. So if you use this host code, if your order is under $150, if it gets to be over $150, you get Hostess rewards, and I want you to get those. So then do not put the host code in and take those rewards yourself. You get 10%, at least 10% of what you spent. So receiving this stamp set filled with happiness, which if you have that modern oval punch, the centers of these are punched, can be punched out with that. And then this bottom one can be punched out with that, is, let me see, Sandy Calloway. So Sandy, I will get this, and I will probably send these with your club cards as well. So those are going out in the mail. So that is for week February 3rd through February 9th. Let me get back to my comments here. Hello, Patty Skiba. I think you're the only, I'm Cheryl. I don't think I said hello to Cheryl. All right, then we have from February 10th, which was last Saturday, until yesterday, or like this morning I looked at it. So last week I made the recorded video where we did the fun fold that looked like that. It's the DSP does all the work. And then we had this new DSP that's coming out on, I believe it's March 5th. So you can look for that on March 5th. And actually, even for demonstrators, the stamp set is out right now, which is unusual for a stamp set to be out, but it's unavailable, but it's coming back in not this Monday, but the following Monday it's listed for. So receiving the cards, oh, and I got two cards here. Must have been my sample and the one that I made live, or not live, but on the video with you last week, is number 5, who's Patty Skiba. Patty, I see you on here. You are going to be getting these. I will get these off in the mail to you this week. And then for sharing from last week and receiving some of these opaque faceted gems. I love these. Has like a pool party, and I think that's Calypso Coral. And it has a pecan pie, which I use these a lot. This is going to number 7, Kay Wearer. So Kay, I will be getting these off in the mail to you. And then for placing an order between the 10th and the 16th and receiving these Botanical Layers stamp set, which you can actually get this as a celebration item. For a $50 order, you can get this for free. I love this. It has a thinking of you that I love the greeting on it. Thank you for everything. You mean the world to me. And just some really cool greenery that you can stamp with that is Kathy Kessler. So Kathy, I will get this off in the mail to you. And thank you for all of you who placed orders in the last 2 weeks and who shared and who commented. All right, now we also have a drawing. I have to get my keyboard out of here. Well, I'm going to put it over here. We also have a drawing for our creative challenge. I said to the ladies who were here this morning, because I was writing everybody's name down, and I'm like, holy cow, there were so many people who participated this time, which is awesome. So I think there were 21 people who posted cards. So make sure you go back to that post on Facebook and look. There are 21 different cards with that layout that I did last week. So Julie Schleve, Lori Workman, and Diane Van Grull. I'm just folding these up here. Mary Linsmeyer. I'm just putting them on my space, and I'm going to put my camera on there so you can see that they're all there. Karen Kozleski. I think that's how you pronounce your name, Karen. And Kelly Wildenberg. Jean Maxwell. And Sarah Markwart, who was here this morning. She said, I just posted it last night. She had a cute little rainbow one. Linda Kester, Becky Weisky, Karen Roofing. Lots of really cool designs. Some of them, some of the stamp sets and bundles that I haven't used yet. Cheryl McClure, Anna Rebedu, and Amanda Shabo. Sandy Calloway. Let's see if Sandy can get lucky twice in one day. And Shanna Roberts. And Jeanne Collar. I don't know why I have my iPad up there. It's not pulling it up anyway. Julie Grassel. Mary Van Domelin. Tammy Litsky. And Aileen Humphrey. So hopefully, I'm going to wait just a few seconds. I'm going to mix these up on my desk. Make sure they all stay on my desk, though. I want to just make sure if anybody did it and I didn't say your name. You posted it this morning, Melanie. I did not. Let me quickly write one for you. Let me get a piece of paper here. I'll cut this off right here. Let's see. That's why I wanted to read them off, because I wanted to make sure that everybody, if they posted it, that I got them. Melanie Foy. All right. I'm folding that and adding that. Anyone else? I'm going ahead and mixing these all. They are all getting mixed up on my, no one else has said that they did it and I didn't get it. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to let you see my desk. Let's see, I can push them all. They're all in the camera right now. Oh, and that's kind of blurry on there. Once I get it full screen, it gets better, but it stays blurry for a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right, I'm just putting my hand in here, mixing around. I can't see it. I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at myself. And I'm going to pick one here, and it's going to be this one right here. All right, let's see. Let me come back to full screen. And it is Mary Linsmeyer. Congratulations, Mary. Mary is on here today. Mary, you get the bundle of your choice. If you would like to wait until the online exclusives come out on March 5th, you can do that. Or if there's something from either the annual catalog or the spring catalog that you would like, send me an email or a message that what you would like, and I will get that ordered and off in the mail to you. Thank you all for participating. I'm gonna just throw that up here right now. My garbage can is right here, but it's really full right now. All right, that is, I think, it for prizes. That was a lot, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and flip my screen to this one. There we go. And I'm gonna turn my overhead lights off. That will give us a few less shadows. And I do have my glass mat here, but you can see all of how my lights affect that. So I'm just going to put some paper. I know that I can put vellum down and cover it, and it would cover it, but I'm just going to put a sheet of paper over the top of it for right now. All right. So our first card is going to be our SIP card. So this one, you just need stamp, ink, and paper. So I'm going to leave my comments for a little bit because I don't have anyone to help me. So I have to do this all myself when I put the dimensions up here. So we're going to start with Pebbled Path. And I got this fold also from the Paper Pixie. It was the card that Julie made when she was making that 3D item with the gum holder. And so I decided I like that card too. So my card doesn't go along with my 3D item like hers did. But I liked the fold and I thought that it would be a neat fold to do. So this measures, this is your standard. Actually, it's not your standard. Normally we have 8.5 by 5.5. I just trimmed a quarter off the end here. So it's actually 8.25 by 5.5. And the reason that she did that and why I followed it is because if you want things when we fold this, when we want it to line up so it's equal on both sides, you had to trim off just that little 1/4 inch. All right. So this is scored at 4 1/8 and 6 7/8. So 4 1/8 from the end and 6 7/8. So this is going to be a special type of Z fold. So I'm going to fold this and burnish it good. Whoa, have a little ribbon on my. And then we're going to fold it back like this. So notice how now this section and that section are equal. And then there's a little piece in the middle. So that's why I did it that way. All right. Then I also have another piece of Pebbled Path, that measures 3 3/4 by 2 3/8. Okay, so we're going to be using that. I have a piece of Basic White. Whoops, that's not the one. That's this one that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for our inside. And then on the outside piece, this measures 3.5 by 2 1/8. Okay, so that's just going to go on the top of that. All right, I have a piece of designer paper, and this measures 5 1/4 by 5 inches. Okay, now if you find, I took this one because I liked what was on the back combined with what was on what I was going to use on the front. Okay, if you decide you don't like how the two patterns look together, then you don't have to cut this at 5 by 5 1/4. You would just cut it at the two pieces that you want on either end would be 2.5 by 5 1/4 and 1 3/8 by 5 1/4. Whoops, and I've got two lines in there. I messed that up there. It should be just 1 1/8, which is our center piece. So let me show you how I cut that. I wanted to show you that, and then I'll go back to my comments in case there were any. So I'm going to put this 5-inch side across the top. So you can see this is my 5-inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the first piece at 2.5. Then I'm going to cut it at 1 1/8. So there's 1 1/8. And what I will have left is 1 3/8. Okay. I did that because I liked how those two pieces look together. But if you have a piece of designer paper that you're going to use and you don't like how the two go together, then just go ahead and cut these two pieces, the 1 3/8 and the 2.5, each by 5 1/4. And then whichever other designer paper you want to put with it would be cut at 1 1/8 by 5 1/4. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm going to hide this banner. I'm going to come back to the comments. Thank you for sharing. All right, we are ready to stamp this. We're just going to stamp on the outside. Our inside, we're going to leave blank so that we can write in it. And this paper that I'm using as a reminder, this is one of our Celebration products, which is only available for another 12 days. And I didn't even look. This was out of stock for a while. I think it came back in. I have not had a chance all week to check inventory to see if it stayed in stock. But this is the paper that I'm using. Any one of these you could really flip around and do this, or you could mix and match some of them. All right, we are going to also use, and I don't have the stamp set here, but this is the Softly Sophisticated, which is also a Celebration item. And this is at a $100 level. You can get this. So I'm going to use the Pebble Path, and I'm going to use one of the greetings. You're in my thoughts. And I'm just going to put that along the bottom. And then the leaves and such, I'm also going to do in that Pebbled Path. I'm going to kind of do it a little bit on an angle like that. And then I'm going to open up the Calypso Coral. Hi, Betty. Most of the replay, Betty, at the beginning was the prizes and such. So I'm just getting to my first card. But if you need to get the dimensions, you probably want to watch that part, unless you want to see who won. All right. So when I match this up, I'm always looking at this little bud over here, and that little bud needs to go right in that little section right here. And then this flower goes between those two lines. So that's what I'm trying to line up. And again, I'm looking over my camera. Not the easiest thing to do, but not too bad. All right. So there is our Calypso Coral. And that's all we have for stamping on this card. So I didn't need a big shot. I didn't need any punches. I'm just using paper and ink and stamps. So stamp, ink, and paper, SIP card. All right, let's go ahead and go to put this card together. So we're going to start with this designer paper. I haven't used my liquid glue yet since I used it this morning, but it should be good. I leave it upside down in a little caddy that I have. And I'm just going to line that up along the edge here of this piece. And then that is going to go on the inside of our card. I use very little glue. You don't need a whole lot. If you can control just getting a little bit of it coming out. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Then this piece is going to go on this side right here. And so I'm going to actually move it. I like to line it up landscape. For some reason, it's easier for me to line it up that way. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then our 1 1/8 piece that the one that we flipped the other way, that's going to go in the center. Just like that. All right. And then I'm going to layer this piece onto that other piece of Pebble Path that we had. And then this is just going to go, I'm just going to attach it to this middle section, kind of in the center. And I sort of want to have an equal amount of space on either side. It's just shy about of an inch, or just maybe a little bit bigger than 3/4 of an inch, I think, on either side. So I just want to, yep, I just glued that. Couldn't remember if I glued it or if I put it on dimensionals. I just put some glue in that center section. Get it straight and press that down. Okay, so it's a Z fold, but it's a little bit different Z fold. So it's not matched up completely on that side. The designer paper is doing all the work on this one. And it's just turns out, I mean, I think it's a fun fold. It's beautiful. And then we're going to use, this is actually Flirty Flamingo, but because this has like the Calypso coral is darker, and then there's like a lighter color in the background. I thought that the Flirty Flamingo went really well with this one. So I'm just going to tie a bow with this, and I probably used more here than I needed. This comes from the ribbon trio pack that's with that hot air balloon suite. It has like a, oh gosh, what colors are in there? Lemon Lolly and a balmy blue. And then this Flirty Flamingo Baker's Twine. Okay, we'll get that done here. And then I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm just going to kind of roll it in a little ball on my finger, and I'm going to set it right where I want that knot to be of my bow. So I want it to be about right there. And then I'm going to take my bow, and I'm just going to press that knot right into that glue dot. Okay, and I think I'm going to, there we go. It's kind of twist it a little bit. And try to get a little bit of the glue that's over there to stick on the bow to hold it that way. There we go. All right, and if you wanted to, you could curl those a little bit with your bone folder. So if I take my bone folder, and just like you do curling ribbon, if you just kind of pull on them, it does a little bit of, the linen thread works better than the baker's twine, but yeah, that does not want to lay flat. There we go. Okay, and then I didn't put any gems on here, but let me grab some. Let me see what I have. I don't have everything put away yet from my card buffet. I started cleaning everything, but I don't have everything put away. So my bins still have all of my gems and stuff in. But I do have some of these iridescent rhinestones that I think will look beautiful on here. So I'm just going to use my take your pick tool with the putty end. And I think I'm just going to take some of these small ones. And I think I'm just going to set one there. And up there. I'm going to put two down in the bottom. I'm going to move this over here more, like that. Okay, so that just gives it a little bit of sparkle when people are looking at it. Not a lot of room just to write your message of why you're in their thoughts. So you already have the designer paper on the inside, so you don't really have to add anything more to that. Oh, thank you for those of you that are saying that you like the card. It's super easy, went together really fast, but because of it being a little bit different fold, I think the person that gets it's not going to be like, oh, there's not much to that card. They're going to be like, oh, wow, that's cool how it opens, and yet the paper does a lot of the work for you. I do have a piece to put on. Let's see. I think I'm maybe going to do that side. Just to, maybe I'll do that. I think I'll do the coral. I was going to maybe flip it around since there wasn't as much of the other color, that the envelope would be that color, but I think I really like the stippled roses that are in here. Those iridescent rhinestones, they just sparkle. I'm like catching it off of the corner of my eye. They're so pretty. Hi, Lori. Yeah, this stamp set, this soft succulent stamp set is amazing. I love the greetings in it. You're in my thoughts. There's a thank you for everything. Or no, you're appreciated, I think is the other one. And then there's a hello, which is really nice too. So there is our card number 1. Stamp, ink, and paper only used. Nothing that had to be die cut or anything like that. So you could do this with just about anything. If you had an image that looked better going the horizontal way, you could also do this fold horizontally or landscape ways, and put your stamped image this way and have it open up that way. So either way. All right, so there's our card number 1. I'm going to keep my glue dots out. I'm going to get rid of this stuff, and we'll set this over on my cupboard over there. All right, our next one is pretty close to being stamped ink and paper, but I used a die cut. But you're going to find that the fold is very different, but yet it looks the same almost as the last one. So let me see. So one of the add-ons for Celebration is this Delightfully Eclectic paper, which this is one of those mega packs where you get 48 sheets. So here are some of the designs. There are the other designs. So there's all different kinds of things that are in here that you can mix and match. Like these two go together. These two, we're going to use this today. These two, so I have them kind of what they go with each other. But definitely a great pack of paper. If you have a $50 order and you're looking for something and you're like, I don't know if I like it, this is well worth it. So this fold I got from Owl Stampers. Michelle, I can't think of Michelle's last name, but she's Owl Stampers. So that's where you could, if you looked that up and looked up her YouTube channel, you would find it. So this is Fresh Freesia. I have to get my banners again. So I'm going to go away from my comments for a little bit. Nope, that's not it. This is it. There we go. So this is your normal 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in here and do the scoring with you so you can see how I did it. So on the 8.5 inch side, you are going to score at 2 inches and 3 1/8 inch. So that's 2 little marks after the 3 inches, because each one of the marks is a 16th. And then you're going to go to the other side and you're going to do exactly the same thing. So 2 inches and 3 1/8 inch. Okay. How you are going to fold this is you're going to fold it in. My bone folder is here. And then you're going to fold it back. Okay, and you're going to fold it in. And then you're going to fold it back. Now, I remember doing a card with you that opened like this. Okay, it's sat like this. And we had a strip that went along the bottom. It's called a spanner card. That's not what we're making today. We're actually going to flip it around and our card's going to stand up that way. And this is going to be the front of our card. Okay, so then we have one of the designer papers that you're going, I have 2 different patterns. I'm doing front and back again. So front and the back. These measure 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to have one that measures 2 by 5 1/4. That's going to be in your center. And then I also cut just a little 1/2 inch off of that. And I think it's in here somewhere. Here it is. Just a little 1/2 inch of that. That's also at 2 inches. And then I cut one of these at 2 by 5 1/4 because I wanted to put that on my back. So I had a place to write a message to the person. Okay. Then I cut out, this is from our scalloped contours. I cut out this little scallop. So that's going to go in there. And then the basic white that I cut to go in the center of that is 3 1/4 by 2. And that 3 1/4 by 2 sets that in there almost perfectly. Okay, so you can still see the stitching around the outside. You can still see the scallops, but it fills it pretty full. All right. I also have a scrap of Bubble Bath and I have a scrap of Garden Green. All right. So let me go back to my comments because there were a couple of comments. Thank you for sharing, Becky. Owl Star Stampers, Michelle Litweiler. Thank you, Cheryl. Yes, it's Michelle Litweiler. And she is the one that did this, who I got this fold from. And it was from a video that she did, I think a couple of years ago with some product that was in Celebration as well. All right. We are going to use, I love, and I always buy stamps that have really big greetings because they can be they can be ways to make cards super, super easy by using the greeting and having that be like the center piece of your card. And so I love this one that says, I'm just so happy for you. And it fit perfectly on this piece of paper that, or this white that fit in there. So I'm going to ink that up with Misty Moonlight ink. I did Misty Moonlight instead of the Night of Navy because there's both in here. And my Night of Navy looked too much like black. And so I decided I wanted to do Misty Moonlight instead. All right, so I'm going to get this straight. All right, so there is our big greeting that we're going to put on this. And then I'm going to use, and I don't know where my flower punch is. Let me see if I put it away. That would be shocking. I did not put it away. It has to be on my desk then. Oh, unless I put it on the floor with my stuff that I had waiting to go with this card. That's for the next one. I just used it this morning. That's sad. I just used it this morning. But then I also picked things up before I started because I had such a mess. Okay, we're going to make do. I will find something to use. We'll start putting this together and maybe all of a sudden I'll look somewhere and be like, oh, there it is. All right, so this, you can see how this is going to be going together. We're going to put the designer paper with the more of the checked or plaid, I guess you could call it. We're going to put that on either of these sides like that. Yep, it's always right in front of me, right, Mary? I know it has to be here because I used it this morning. And other than cleaning a few things up, I thought, oh, maybe when I cleaned it up, I put it away. But I don't see it in my punch holder either. So this is going to go down like this. So see how this kind of looks like that last card? But the only difference is the middle section is the bigger section this time. So when it folds, when it's folded down and you put it in the envelope, it's this middle section that's going to be a little bit bigger this time. And it doesn't pull out like the other one does, but rather stands up. So I felt like these two folds were great folds to do together because they were very similar that way. Let's put this way. So our greens are going, well, it looks like they're going in both directions. Yeah, it looks like there really is no direction to this paper. Okay, so then that is going to stand up just like that. So you can stand it up. I'm going to take that little strip of paper, which, yeah, right now I got to find that. There it is. And I'm going to put a little bit of that paper for on the back for where we are going to write. And we're going to attach this white piece, and it looks like I have to trim just a little bit of that off. Okay, I'm just going to set that in the middle section back here so that I have a place to write that message. Okay, so I'm just so happy for you. I was thinking somebody got a new job, somebody got some good news on some test results. There's so many things that you could be happy for somebody for. And I just thought I loved this saying. You know what? I wonder. No. I'm still looking for my punch because the card's not going to be complete unless I find it. Although I could find a different floral punch probably than the one that I used, or I could use some dies if I had to. But punches are just so much easier, right? Okay, so that's just going to go right inside of there. And then this is going to go in that center section. So it almost goes out to either edge. There's just a little bit of the blue that's showing. And for this one, I decided that I wanted to pop that up on dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and throw dimensionals down the center here. And then I'm just going to pop one at the edge there and at the edge there, because I don't know how far I have to go out. And I don't want to go too far and stick it to this blue. And then I'm going to be stuck and not know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those. Oops, and I left my banner on here. Sorry about that. I'll take that off real quick. I was so excited to get back to your comments that I forgot to take the banner off first. All right, so that's going to go there. So that will stand up like that. Oh, I love that. Okay, now I have to do one more quick look for my punch. Well, I swear I set it aside for this card, so I'm not sure what I did with it. It's not with my next one. I need 2 punches for that one, and those 2 punches are there. It's not on the floor where I had this stuff sitting. All right, we're going to do something different here. We're going to punt a little bit. You know what? I might, because you know what's going to show up as soon as I get off my video. I'm going to be able to find it. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take it off my sample card and just show you what I did. And I will add one to my sample card. So this is the, can't even remember the name of the punch because I'm a little bit flustered right now. Not going to lie. This is the punch that has 3 flowers in it. It has a really small flower, a medium sized and a big size, and then it has a little petal. So I did the little petal in Garden Green, and then this is in Bubble Bath, and the center of it is our rainbow dots. And this is really Flirty Flamingo, and this is Calypso Coral, but it's so close, I thought that it worked. So I used the largest one of those for the center of this flower. And I just used a glue dot on the back of this to attach the little greenery to the flower itself. You know, I'll find it as soon as I wonder if it's in, I didn't use it for my card buffet, but I'm wondering if I brought it out into my kitchen or something, or when I was cleaning up, if it got put in with something. So this is just going to fill up a little bit of space that we had up there. So I'm just so happy for you. And there's space for us to write a little message on the back. Petal Park Punch. Yes, Petal Park Punch is the name of the punch that I use. And I just can't find it right now. If that tells you the state of my stamp room, that's kind of embarrassing because I just used it at about maybe 6 o'clock this morning. So there is our second card. And I did have, here's that. See, I'm able to find all the other things that I set aside for this. I don't know why I can't find that. All right, we have some of this paper to add to our envelope flap. I'll just put that right up to where the creases on that envelope, and then we'll just flip it over and cut it out. So good thing I had one done, right? I could at least steal from that, but I still have to find the punch. All right, so there is our card number 2. Both of our cards, just like last week, they kind of had a similar, one was one way, one was the other way. This is stands up this way and has like the 2 panels, the DSP on either side. And our first one opens up that way, but similarly has the 2 designer papers and then another designer, or the same designer paper on either end, and something different that matches with it in the center. Yeah, that it wouldn't have looked good without having that flower there. It just needed something. It was too plain otherwise. I could have put a ribbon there, I suppose, too. We've got that Misty Moonlight ribbon that's really, really pretty that I could have put up there. But I thought with this flower right here that's in there, that's in Bubble Bath, that the Bubble Bath being a little bit off from the Fresh Freesia was perfect for that. So thank you. So both cards are both pretty easy this week, but I think they're still pretty, they're gorgeous cards, and I think anybody would be happy to receive something like that. So those are our 2 cards. And now for those of you that like 3D projects, I'm going to go ahead and show you the 3D project that I made as a thank you gift for everyone who participated in my card buffet this week, or this weekend. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back out here. So I'm going to start with basic black is what I used. Again, I decided to do this for St. Patrick's Day is what it is. So this measures 6 3/4 by 6 7/8. I think this is the 6 3/4. Let me look, because that's going to be important. Yes. So this side is 6 3/4, and then this side is 6 7/8. So it's just a little bit, one side is just a little bit longer than the other side by like 1/8 of an inch only. All right. So with the 6 3/4 inch side, which is this one, along the top. So I've got the 6 3/4 lined up along the top. I'm going to score at 5/8. So that's just 1/8 of an inch more than 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to go to 1/2 an inch and then move over 2 little lines after it, and then 1 1/2. And I'm going to do that on both ends. So I'm going to go to 5/8 again. And then the 1 1/2. Okay, so that's how I'm going to start that. Then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to put the 6 7/8 inch. So this one's 6 7/8. I'm going to score that at 1 1/2 and 2 3/8. So that's just 1/8 of an inch before 2 1/2. So 1 1/2. And 2 3/8. Okay, so that's all the scoring that we have to do. We have to do some cutting with that, and I'll walk you through all of that, but I'm going to put my paper trimmer away. All right, so that I can stand the banners, and then I'll go back to the comments. You're going to need 2 pieces of designer series paper, and this is from the Sunny Days, which is also a celebration, an item that you can get for free, but you could also use any green paper that you have since it's for St. Patrick's Day. There are 2 pieces that measure 3 1/2 by 1 1/4, and then there is 1 piece that measures 3 1/2 by 1 7/8. So that's all we need for paper. I have some scraps of stuff that we're going to use as well, but I'm going to come back to the comments here. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Melanie and Nancy. All right, I am going to, so that you can see these lines a little bit better because this is on black paper, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to burnish all of these score lines with my bone folder because that might help you to see them a little bit when I start to do my cutting. So we're going to do a little bit of cutting, and then we're going to be doing some gluing, and our little box is going to go together. All right, and there. Okay, so basically all I did was I folded on all of those score lines because I think you can see the score lines better now on the camera. Okay, you want to place your paper so that this is a rectangle. So it's not an oblong rectangle, but it's looks this way. It goes side or landscape, I guess, rectangle. What you want to do is you want to start, and I only see my ribbon scissors. Oh, here's another scissors I can use. I've been cutting paper anyway with it. You want to cut each of these score lines when it's the landscape rectangle up to the second score line. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut along this score line up to that second one. I'm going to do the same thing there. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to do the same thing there. Okay, then I'm going to cut off the end one, just like that. And here I'm just going to cut to the first score line so that I'm making a little tab here. Okay, so again, I'm going to cut the first one off at the second score line, and the next one I'm going to cut off at the first score line to make myself this little tab. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So if you didn't get it, I'm going to be repeating it on the other side. So I'm going to cut up each of these score lines to the second score line. Once I get up to the second score line, I'm going to cut this one at the second score line. I didn't do a very good job of following the straight line there, but it's going to be fine because it's going to tuck in. No need to worry. Okay. And then this one I'm going to cut at the first score line, and then the second score line, and the first score line. just like that. Super, super easy. All right. This is going to be my box, okay, that I'm going to be making. And now what I want to do is I want to, on the top piece, I wanted to kind of make it stand out a little bit more. So when Julie made hers, Julie DiMatteo made hers, she ended up using a corner rounder. We don't have a corner rounder anymore. So I opted to just make mine slanted, kind of make it like a banner, because we do still have this punch. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up inside there and cut it at a slant. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so this is going to be the little, why don't I, oh, I don't have one here. I gave them all away. I don't have one to show you. Okay, so this is going to, this box is going to be all glued together like that. And then this is going to be the cover that comes over and closes. Okay, so one of these 1 1/4 is going to go on there. So what I want to do is I want to, so I use the rainbows on the back as my guide. If I want this to be the right way, then the slits are going to be at the bottom of the rainbows. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those in there and cut and cut. Okay, so here's my box. I'm flipping it so that it's on the back side, sort of. And I'm going to put glue. Now, I could have used the rainbows too, because you use rainbows for St. Patrick's Day too. These are all green rainbows, so it's kind of fun that it would be the rainbow theme. And I didn't think of that. I just was thinking of shamrocks when I saw this. I was like, oh, those kind of look like shamrocks. They could be used for shamrocks. So that's going to go on there. And then our bigger piece is going to go the right way on here. And then because this one's flipping up, okay, it's going to be flipping up. On here, I want to glue it on it upside down so that when it flips the other way, it's going to be right side up. So if you have directional paper, you want this one to be upside down and that one to be upside down, and then this one to be the right way, because these two flip this way and that one stays the way it is. If that makes sense. Okay, now what we're going to do is I want this to Velcro shut. So I buy these in the Ream because I use them at school and I use them for crafting. So I have the 2 different sides of the Velcro. So I'm just going to match up my little Velcro dots. This is only a portion of what I have. I have like a whole roll of All right. I just recently had them at school, so we had cut off a little piece so 2 of us could be using them. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the center of my top flap. And what you want to do is you want to fold on this first score line, and up here you want to fold on the second score line. And press that down, and now your Velcro is going to be in the right spot. Okay, I am going to, it's called a miter cut. I'm just going to cut just like a little bit sliver off the sides so that these fold in just a little bit better. So I'm just cutting just a small little right triangle off the edge. So you can see it's very, very little that I'm cutting off. And when I make a lot of boxes at once, I find these little scraps all over my house. They're all over my floor, because even if I'm doing it in my stamp room and I'm not doing it somewhere else in my house, they get stuck to my socks and slippers and everything else. And Lila carries them all over the house because they get stuck to her if she lays on the floor. So I find these little things all over the place. So it's best to keep it on my work surface here so that I can just roll that all up and throw it away at once. All right, so now what we're going to do is we want to put the bottom part of our box together. So these 2 little tabs right here, we're going to be putting some glue on. Now, if you prefer using the tear and tape, you can use tear and tape. I like liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, but I also know that when I use liquid glue, I've got to hold it in place a little bit longer for it to set. So what I want to do is I want to match up this score line with that cut line to make a perfect square. And so I'm just going to hold that for a little bit to make sure that it sticks in place. Now, if you use tear and tape, it would be right away, it would stick. Okay, same thing. This score line is going to get matched up with that cut line to make a perfect square, to make our box. And again, I'm going to press and hold this a little bit to make sure that that gets set in place. All right. These tabs are going to fold down, and we're going to attach this front part to these little tabs that are here. Now, to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and put the gum in already. So I got this from Amazon. I don't know if you can find it in the store. I think you can. It's called a pocket pack. I ordered them on Amazon. They came 6 in a pack. There's 28 sticks of gum in here, which is kind of nice. It has like a little plastic outer thing that they can like put in a purse or someplace. And so I'm just going to open this up and I'm going to slide this in there. Only so because that gives me a little bit of something to press on when I go to glue this down. And what I'm going to do is I don't want to put glue on this tab because it doesn't have to go all the way up. I want to put glue on this because that'll tell me how far up I need to go. And I just have to look at, I don't want to go any further over than where it lines up with that tab that's down. So I kind of hold that down so I know how far I can go over with my glue. I don't want to go over any further than that. And then I want to square that up on that side and make sure that I'm squared on this side, and press and hold that until it sticks. All right, so there is our little box that has our gum in it. Okay, so it's easy to pull that out, and it has the little Velcro to hold it shut. Now I wanted to have a little label on it. So I was, like I said, I was hoping these would be St. Patrick's Day. So I have some white and I have some of the shaded spruce. These are some of our matte dots that come in white, off-white, gray, and black. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1 3/4 inch punch, and I'm going to punch just a circle. Right, and then I'm going to stamp. I was looking for a greeting that said Happy St. Patrick's Day. I really couldn't find one. So I went to our throughout the year because those have different occasions throughout the year. And the one that they had for St. Patrick's Day was Best of Luck. And I thought that'll work perfect. Best of Luck. Wonderful. Fits for St. Patrick's Day. If you have an old St. Patrick's Day stamp, Happy St. Patrick's Day, you could use it. If you want to just write Happy St. Patrick's Day, if you don't want to put a stamp on it at all, and you just wanted, I'm going to make a clover as well to put with this. But if you just wanted to do the clover, you could do that as well. I'm going to stamp the Best of Luck off to the right a little bit so I can put a clover to the left. Okay, and that's in the shaded spruce ink as well. And the way I'm going to make our clover punch was very popular last year, but they didn't keep it around. And so I sold mine because it wasn't something that anybody could buy. So it doesn't pay for me to really use it because nobody can buy it. So I decided this is my bee punch. And so what I'm going to go ahead and take that small heart, and I'm going to cut 3 of them. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Got a couple of scraps in there as well. And what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on the back of here. I'm going to lay one of those hearts down as close to the words as I can. And then I'm going to set one across from it. Like that. And then put a little bit of glue on this. And you could probably raise this up on a dimensional if you wanted to, but I just glued it in the center here. Okay, and then I have my black Stampin' Write marker, and all I'm going to do with that, I'm just kind of bringing the black in from here. I just decided to make like a stem for it, and then take one of these black matte dots and set it right at where those 3 hearts intersect to make myself a little clover to go on my label. So if you have heart punches, you have heart dies, you can always make a clover out of it by putting them together. And then I'm just going to attach this, and I didn't think that it needed to be undimensional, so I just took regular liquid glue, and I'm going to kind of center it right and left and top and bottom. Give that a good press so that it stays on there. And there's our little gift package, just a little pack of gum. Okay, opens up with the Velcro, and then you can pull that out. Now, I felt like it needed something else when I was doing it. So I decided to wrap a ribbon around it and tie a bow on the top. So I'm going to do that, but I want to warn you that you do have to slide that off in order to get the gum out. The gum won't come out with this ribbon on, but I really thought that it added a lot to this box. So I have the vanilla here because I had a lot of that, and my black and white. Actually, you know what? I have some black and white now. Let's go ahead and grab the black and white. My black and white was all in buckets for my card buffets. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do the vanilla because it was sitting there, and I didn't want, wanted to make sure I had enough black and white. Well, then I had an order come yesterday, and more black and white was in that order after I had all of these made. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off. And you let me know if you think it's worth it. I mean, I thought it was worth it. I know that they have to slide the bow off. They have to slide the ribbon off to get at it. But I just thought for presentation purposes, I thought it looked cuter to have the little bow on the top of it. Pull those just a little bit smaller and then a little bit tighter. And we'll cut these off. Oops. So there is our little, I just think it adds a little bit, having that little bit of bow on the top of it. All they really have to do is slide it off, and then they can slide the bow back on if they want it, or they can just take the ribbon off and keep it off because they're going to take the gum out anyway, right? So just a fun little package of gum that, or gift with gum in it that you could just give to anyone that you maybe wanted to give a little gift to. So, all right, our 2 cards and our bonus 3D item. Since I was making it for, and I had 2 extra packs of gum, I thought I might as well share. So there are our projects for today. All right, let's see here. I got to do this and do this and do that. And now I'm back to you. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Look at that. I didn't even go that much over an hour, and we did a lot of drawings, and we did 3 projects. I was pretty efficient today, other than not being able to find my punch, which I'll be looking for that after the video. I'll let you know where I found it when I find it, because it has to be here somewhere, right? Okay, that is it for today. Next week, I will be live again. I'll be back at my normal time of 8:30 in the morning. And then I have a couple more weeks that I'm in town, and then I will be hopefully in Florida for a week. And I might miss 2 weeks then, because I come back on Friday really late at night. And unless I have my act together before I leave and have something ready to go for that next morning, it may be a 2-week off for Sarah if I don't have my act together before I leave. So thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate sharing this gift of this hobby that I have of stamping. And I look forward to seeing some of the things that you make as well. So have a great weekend, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye.